Alright, so before I carve this turkey, does anybody want to give thanks for anything?
I'm thankful for Energon, and I'm just thankful for the morphing grid, and this sweet, sweet flute.
And I'm just thankful for short skirts. Am I right, fellas? I mean, come on. God, I hate not having genitals. I'm just glad I got to stuff the turtle. You guys just, maybe want to go get some Chinese?
Screw Chinese, we're already here.
Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name is Arnes.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Wait, wasn't that yesterday or?
Shh.
Okay.
This is the future. Past.
Wait, isn't this past?
Don't backtalk me, you cockroach.
You're just as confusing as this movie is.
I know, right? Because today we're going over the film Godzilla vs. Gigan. For the premise of the movie, there's a down-and-out manga creator gets turned away from every company except for one. And this one is owned by cockroach monsters from space.
Spoilers?
Yep, from Nebula M Space Hunters. And they want to take over the world with peace and giant monsters. And Godzilla and Angus have to stop them with comic book artists.
You, notice this movie, Steve, that, I'm Godzilla, you and Angus. I do all the work and you just sit in the background and bite people's tails.
Yeah, I just like headbutt things and make myself bleed. I'm Buzzsaw. Because I'm smart.
No, you go head first into that saw.
I'll stop it with my skull.
It didn't work.
I know, right? But for the premise of this movie, it works. It's a little bit different than what we've gotten with a lot of the other Godzilla movies, especially having to deal with space and aliens.
I was on board with this movie until I saw what those people were.
Yeah, they're giant cockroaches. And I love it. They're just like, hey, you over there? The guy's just like, what went wrong? He's just a tipped over cockroach with bad flame effects going over top of him.
Well, like, I was alright. And, like, Steve was like, you're gonna be excited when you see what these guys are. And then when the guy was talking, he's like, we have a planet too that was full of humans. And they died out. But we can survive anything. I was like, oh god, please don't be cockroaches.
Oh yeah, they showed like, they like turned the lights off and turned on these special lights, yeah. And you could see, I was like, dun, dun, dun. And
I was like, oh my god, that's it.
Oh, it's amazing. There's so many good things that happen in this movie. Like you have the famous scene of the monsters talking in the English dubbed. Where it just sounds like somebody's like trying to rewind a videotape. It's like, wow, wow, wow. He's like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. Go check it out. Okay. Why? Why was this even in the Japanese? The Japanese, they still have that crappy audio playing when they're talking. It's just like, wow, 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 wow the entire time.
I'm sad when the second time they talk, it wasn't, you know.
Yeah, in the English dub, it's still just that.
Sad day.
But for the most part, I actually like the human element in this movie.
I just like the fat hippie guy.
I know, right? Holds the guy at gunpoint with a corn of cob.
And then he eats it later on to look like a...
yeah. Like a certain member. That was just funny, too, because he's like, wait, you had a gun? He's like, what, this? Here you go. I was like, God, we gotta have one of those in this movie.
And then the karate girl. He's like, man, let's go take over this building back. He's like, we'll take the stairs, and he takes the girl with him, and he's like, you go first, and she just like walks in there.
Beats the shit out of everybody. It's amazing.
That guy is a Steve. He's using a girl to do his dirty work.
Yeah, sounds like something I'd do. I sit there just draw my little drawings about homework monsters.
Horrible creatures. What was that?
And the monster of... Oh, what was the female one?
Oh, it was her.
Yeah, it was the karate girl in the movie. It was like monster strict mothers. Yeah. That's what it was. Just, why?
She's like, you see any resemblance? He's like, no.
Oh, mama ga. But I do like they're kind of getting a little bit creative with the giant monster genre. Especially just doing like these...
Guy with a chainsaw really in his stomach. I was just waiting for somebody to like pull his back and it was going to be like... I was like, what the... That's the first time I saw that, like his stomach started moving. I was like, is that a chainsaw in there?
Yeah, for the monster Gigan. Which, just to finish it up, the plot of the movie is actually pretty cool.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for what we got with the other movies involving aliens. But I do like that they actually construct an entire Godzilla that shoots freaking lasers, man.
Sharks with freaking lasers, man.
On their heads, except this one came out of his mouth. But still worked for me. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I also like how Anger just kind of chilled in the back and just let this shit happen.
He didn't do anything. And anytime he tried, he just got his ass kicked.
Yeah, he's just like, we're gonna kill him. And Anger's just like, whatever, man. I'm not getting into this business.
He's like, look at me. What can I do? Absolutely nothing except bite tails.
Except for the scenes that I've already done stuff in previous films.
Which, we're going to get into that later.
Yeah,
oh, man.
With the props and production. Yeah. And moving on to the costumes. Which first we'll start with the best one in my opinion, Gigan.
Besides the chainsaw, he looked
But
alright.
the chainsaw's cool. He's like a weird cyber monster penguin thing. With hooks for his hands and feet, his buzzsaw on his tummy, one cyclops eye. Actually, in the games, and also on some of the poster arts, he actually shoots a beam out of his little thing in this middle of his forehead.
He didn't shoot a beam in here? Garbage.
Yeah, he just kind of flies around and cuts people. That's what he does. Also, I think I have a Gigan around here. You guys want a little better look at what we're talking about? But I always thought he was actually a really cool looking monster. And what's kind of depressing is, because of all the reused shots and whatnot, he doesn't really get as much time to shine as I would have really liked.
No, he doesn't. He's
Yeah,
cut
but then
out a
again,
lot.
this is like one of those times where Toho was really making as much money, so they're trying to save it wherever they could. But I still think he's actually really cool, even though this one's green. And in the film, to me, he seems more of like a teal color. Especially since I actually have more lighter blue versions of Gigan too. Like, I pretty much have many, many shades of this guy. But for the most part, if you've seen like X Plus versions, it's kind of the same coloring.
50 Shades of Gigan?
Essentially. Oh. I could see like a hook us up chains of these things, man. Just like, how you doing?
He's already got his own hooks and chainsaws and everything. He's ready.
Yeah, he's freaking set. But the main reason why the Gigan suit looks so good and so sweet in this movie is he's pretty much the only one that was originally created for this film. All the other monsters, we've seen the suits in other films. Like for the next one, we have Godzilla, which we saw in Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. He's also in Godzilla's Revenge, or All Monsters Attack. So it's the same suit we've been getting, and you can definitely notice to wear a lot more than you did in the other films.
No, you got this part covered, man. You're right. Anything I'd say would just be even worse. Especially the scene when he like wakes up or gets up after that thing and he gets a full revive in him, and he's just like this, and there's just like parts of the suit hanging out.
Yeah, you see like part of his knee, like the suit's kind of handed off. You see parts of his arms, which I guess you could kind of say it's a battle damage. But then again, you also see there's problems with this suit.
What did he fight? A potato peeler? Started peeling his skin off?
Have you seen this guy?
Well,
He's hooks and buzzsaws, man.
Actually, you know what? I'll give him that one. That is battle damage.
Yeah.
My bad.
Even though he has the battle damage when you first see him in the movie. It's not as bad, mind you.
It was from previous movies. It's just,
It just hasn't healed.
Yeah.
Even though that's his... He's like Wolverine. It's kind of his thing. But it still works. It's not really distracting for the movie. It's one of those more things like when you're paying attention to it, it's definitely a lot more noticeable. So, okay, some of it's a little bit more noticeable, but for the most part, like, I can still watch it and appreciate it without being distracted. Unlike the next monster, King Ghidorah. Who has seen better days?
I'm assuming this was in storage for a long time.
Yeah, it's compared to the other suits, which are all fairly at least updated a little bit. Ghidorah has not been, because the Ghidorah, to my understanding, is the same Ghidorah we've had since the beginning.
They ran out of hot glue.
Yeah, and some of like the scaling's starting to look a little weird in him at that time period. And pretty much all the damage he's had from all the other films still kind of show up here and there. For the most part, when you're looking at him from a distant perspective,
he's fine.
He's fine. He's okay. When you start getting up close and personal, I actually appreciate them using shots from other films in that regards, because at least then he looked good. Even though there's like how many Godzillas in this movie?
Oh.
Because like when he's in the water, that's a different Godzilla. When he's fighting Ghidorah, you have the 60 or 65 Godzilla.
I'm surprised they didn't use the black and white in there, you know.
Yeah, it's just like Raids Again. One shows up for reasons with Anguirus, and then Anguirus is also in there. So Ghidorah is definitely the least impressive suit. Anguirus is still cool though. Really have no problem with Anguirus, although some of the when you first see Anguirus come to shore after they play the recording, he goes to do his go check it out kind of thing.
His swimming scenes.
Yeah, you can see a swimming scene where it's literally just his head above water. It's just like pulling along. But when he comes up to land, like when everybody shines the lights on him, that's when he starts looking a little funny.
A little funny.
Because like his like the skin coloring on him is like drastically different in some parts.
He wasn't ready for the spotlight, Steve. He didn't have time to freshen up.
Yeah, it also looks like he's like Buzz. Like he's high on something, because there's sometimes where like they hit the light on him, his eyes are just like fogged over. He's like, oh man.
It was a long trip, man.
That was
a long trip across the ocean.
A little jet lag.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Okay, all right. I can understand then.
I was still impressed by the suit. You know why? It wasn't as bad as the first one where his back popped out.
Don't make fun of him. Still my favorite.
From there, it just gets better for me. So it possibly cannot get worse on this suit.
Whatever.
Am I wrong or does?
Nah, this suit's actually really good. I can't fight it. It's one of the reasons why it's my wife's favorite suit.
Okay, now I instantly disliked it. Boo.
And next, moving on to the props. And I ask,
what props? It was just all the stuff from the other movies.
Yeah, it's not like we haven't seen this stuff in other films. Like, there's some shots, like, you see a few new things here and there. Like, I believe there's a few shots when Anguirus comes up on the beach. There's a couple of new shots there of some props. But for the most part, like, when you see, like, the mazers come up and stuff, I'm pretty sure that's from War of the Gargantuas. Is that same shot from there?
Well, at least you know one shot is still real, and it's the Godzilla Tower one.
Yeah, there's the Godzilla Tower. There's, like, any scenes with the Gigan, where, like, when he's going on a rampage.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. There's a lot of destruction in this movie.
There's a lot of destruction. There's a lot of violence. Like, monsters bleed. Pretty sure it's the first time Godzilla's ever bled in a film. Like, you see him, like, get burned and stuff. Like, he takes, like, beatings from, like, monsters actually, like, hitting him with, like, their blast and whatnot. Or, like, Ghidorah hitting him with his acid slime. Or sludge. But this is the first time I've actually seen it, like, when Gigan's, like, flying around and, like, cuts a shoulder, you see...
I'm surprised, Jeff.
It's like a freaking martial arts movie.
I'm just surprised they just didn't put, like, a black blob over it, to edit it out.
Yeah, it's just got, like, the little sensor bar just, like, erupting from his shoulder. It's like, oh, God, why? Especially, again, where they're trying to go for more child-friendly content. Seems kind of weird to be going with the bloody route. I guess.
He was like, he takes the Ghidorah's head and he's like, bends it and he's like, and the guy was like,
Yeah, the guy gets teabagged and he just drags his tail across his head.
That's all child-friendly?
Back in the day, yeah.
Oh.
We can't judge. We had Ren and Stimpy.
Okay. I withdraw my statement. You're right. Go ahead.
You guys are fine.
Yep.
One thing I gotta mention, though, for props before we conclude this, is my favorite prop in the entire film happens when they are about to blow up Godzilla Tower, because what they do is they set up a bunch of explosives in it, and then they set up a poster of all of them that the artist drew, so that they would trick the aliens into shooting the explosives. And it works! Without a hitch.
Yeah, the aliens or cockroaches. He's like, shoot first, ask later. And the elevator opens. Completely the door opens. You can see it's a drawing. The guy was like, ah! And just... Terry Crews came through.
Explosions!
Oh, that was...
amazing?
I don't know if that was the greatest plan or the most stupidest thing I've ever saw in my life.
I'm going with amazing. Awesome. Spectacular.
Hey, it worked. I gotta try that.
I know, right? We just need to set it up at work and hope we can get away. They just walk into where we're working at. Just be like, oh, Steve and ours are working perfectly fine. Just leave.
Sweet.
I know, right? We're gonna go do this. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, come on.
Alright, Rangers. Don't try that at home.
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. But, to conclude this movie, I actually enjoy Godzilla vs. Gigan. Overall, I think the plot's actually pretty cool. A little bit different than what we got in a lot of the other Godzilla films. It's actually something different, too, is that we get a tag team fight in this one. Don't really get it more...
No, it's 2 against 1.
Well, I know... Well, really 1-on-1. It's really Godzilla and Gigan's fight.
It's not true. King Ghidorah shoots his electricity at his feet a couple times, and...
Anguirus does things.
Yeah. It's more like 2 again. Angus doesn't do crap. He's just hiding in a corner. Even he knows he's useless.
The only issue that a lot of people are going to have is the excessive use of stock footage, which I can't remember if it's this one or the next one movie we're going to be watching, which is Godzilla vs. Megalon, if that one has more.
Don't worry, somebody will correct you down there.
I think it's this one in the comments, but let me know in the comments section below.
Fix him, you guys. He's wrong.
Probably.
Actually, I'm so-so in this movie just because I watched the last 10 movies within like few months.
No,
span.
this is 12. I think this is 12 movie. We're on 12.
Yeah, see? I watched so many of them, I forgot. But it's like the 12th movie I watched in the last few months. So now I'm starting to remember all these scenes, and then they just pile them all into this movie, and it's just like, how cheap are you, you know? It's like...
Yeah, gotta save money, man.
But I do like the parts with the Gigan.
Yep, it's
The
Gigan.
chicken. The robot chicken up there. Yeah, that thing. I like the scenes with him. Copyright, Steve. Copyright.
We just need to strap him into an electric chair now.
Yeah. Like, I like those scenes. You can tell, like, that was completely new, and I guess that's why I would recommend this movie, just because it's a different story with him.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being a movie like you would come back to eventually. Like maybe check it out once in a while.
If it's somebody fresh who hasn't seen the old movies in a long time and comes back to this to watch it, I'll be fine. But if you're like me who's just watched them all in a row, you'd be like, ugh.
The more time you've had away from this film, definitely the better. But let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of Godzilla vs. Gigan, and help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.